Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to prune up my apple tree. I let it grow for the entire summer, so the shoots are very long on it. And today I'm going to prune it back, and I'm also going to check out what's going on underneath the moss in the center of the tree. Here's a look at the apple tree. So you can see all the long shoots on it, and I checked it over. I don't see any flower buds on it. I've never had this tree flower before. I just get leaf buds. The flower buds, you'll see like a bump on the branch. It's fatter than a leaf bud, and that, indicates a flower bud, but I've never seen any. And there's a look at the center of the tree, and kind of all rotted away, the middle of the tree. So I'm going to dig out the moss today and see if I have any roots growing in amongst that moss. I'm going to begin today by pruning up all these long shoots. And I'll be using directional pruning, so I'll look for buds along the branches. And if I see a bud growing in a good position where I want the branch to grow in the future, I'll prune just ahead of that. So a lot of these branches are getting quite long and whippy, so I need to bring the whole tree back. So I'll start with kind of a conservative pruning, and then if I need to tighten it back further, I will. So on this branch I have a bud here. There's one on the top here. There's two here. So I think I better take it right back to this bud. So I'll prune halfway between the nodes. Like that. Taking that whole branch tip off. This branch, I've got a bud at the back, one on the front, I've got one on the top here. I could safely prune it back to here. This one out the back, bud out the back here. There's one on the bottom here. I'll prune it to here, like that. So once I have all these whippy branches pruned back, then I'll look at the overall styling of the tree. So I'm just pruning back the whippy branches to buds that are facing good directions, making the tree a little more compact. There. Back to here. Oh, there's a long branch out the back here. I can get right back to here. And now I think I can rotate the tree. It's free and clear. And I'm pruning, as I said, very conservative at first, because I can always shorten them back later on. I just want to get it reduced in size. Okay, that's got a lot of those long whippy branches back, so let's have a look at the tree structure now. Here's a look at the apple tree. So this part coming up top is very thin. There's no kind of woody structure, it's just kind of the live vein that supports this upper part. So that it may fail someday, and That's why I'm growing up all these kind of branches around, so this can take over as the new, dominant part of the tree eventually, or be part of it, and these back branches. So I'm just looking to see, this is the current front of the tree, and I'm just rotating it around to see if there's anything better. You can see all the dead wood here. It's just rotted, and I think that'll come out today if there's no roots growing into it. Bit of flaky bark there. Yeah, so if, all this were to die off, this could become the tree, this front part, or this back part. It could become the front. So I think I'll do my investigation in this moss and see what's going on in there. I'll pull it all out and see if there's any roots growing from these living sections into that moss kind of clump. If there is, that's good. It'll help fill in that section with roots. If there's nothing in the middle, well, I tried. There's nothing much I can do. Okay, I've got my tweezers, and I'll start pulling this moss clump out. Maybe I'll use my hand at first. So there's some of that original rotted wood in there. I'm not seeing any roots so far. If this were a willow or a ficus, there'd definitely be roots in there. So there's a few roots here, and I've got to make sure those aren't just from weeds, because they could be. There's a hole out the back there. I think those were just from weeds. I don't think those are apple roots. Could be wrong, but there's a few more roots here. They may be from the apple tree. Yeah, there's definitely some roots in here. There's quite a thick one down here. So that's always good. Okay, that's good. There is some roots growing in that rotted wood. So I'll just get the surface layer of moss off. Kind of probe around in here, see what's going on. I think I had some bonsai soil in the middle here too. Yeah, there's definitely some roots in there. So that's good. I'll just leave them be. Keep them watered and see if they thicken up and help kind of create some interest to the middle of the tree. If it fills up with roots, it'd be really cool. Yeah. So that's encouraging. Now I do plan on repotting this tree this spring. It's been a long time since I repotted it. So let me just water that section there. Okay, just to keep those roots happy. I'm having a look at the structure of the tree now. So if I follow this sort of trunk line up, it comes up, I've got a nice kind of side branch here and another one at the back, and I've got kind of two vertical leaders. I think I need both of them to kind of fill in, you know, the canopy of the tree. I don't think I want to turn this into like a kind of a single upright trunk with horizontal branches. I want it more of like a clump style. I envision this to look like, you know, an old apple tree that's being abandoned in an orchard. Ancient old apple that's just been kind of forgotten. So the apple trees in nature grow quite chaotically. And I don't want to lose that by making it too formal looking. I think that would ruin the tree. But it doesn't mean I can't do work on it. I could definitely clean up a lot of stubs. And, you know, a branch like this coming straight out at me, if this is still the front, I guess I should have another look at it. I still think that should be the front, at least for now. Definitely has like the widest root base. The interesting roots are all out front. There's nothing much at all at the back. It's just kind of rotted wood here. Yeah. Now that's not to say that, you know, those roots that are growing in this rotted wood won't fill that in someday. That's what I'm hoping. So the time will tell with that. So I think I need to do a lot of cleanup work and a bit more pruning. I've got a branch here that's kind of growing into this side of the tree, so I'll prune that back. And I'm just looking if I can shorten some of these branches. Like here I have a bud down here. I could shorten it. There's a bud on top. It's kind of a bit of a straight section here. It's not too bad, but I could prune it back. I think I will to here. Like that. That kind of keeps it more of a branch, but there's still lots of structure up in this area. This one I think I can reduce back a bit more to there. This one I haven't pruned, but I can prune the tip off at least. Now I'll go down to here. There's a branch here that comes up. I haven't pruned that one yet. I'll prune it off to it. But that faces towards the front. This branch I haven't pruned. I'll prune it off to, I think, here. This one I think is a little long. I'll prune it back to here. This one's a little long too. I've kind of got these two branches. This one grows on top of this one. I do have a bud on the top there. I'm going to prune it back to here. Like that. I think that helps. This branch I haven't pruned, and I have a bit of ramification, some branching out at the tip, but I think that's too long. It's growing over top of everything else. I'm going to prune it back to here at least. This one I think can come back further. This one can come back further. And this one definitely can too. This one on top, I can prune it back further. Maybe even further than that. To there. This one is still too long. This one's too long. There's a stub here I can prune away. This one. Tip off at least. This branch is kind of cross here. Not so desirable. I have a bud out the back. I think I'm going to take it back hard to there. Develop the branch more out the back. This is still too straight here. It's got a bud at the back there. I'll put it back to here. This one back to here. This one back further. This one back further. This one back to here. Got a little one here I can prune back. So I'm just studying the structure, seeing if there's anything that's bothering me. I think this kind of bothers me. That's possibly a flower bud there, I'm not sure. Yeah, this one kind of goes straight up in front of this other one. I'm going to prune it back. Taking the tip off. This one needs to be shorter. There's one up here that's going a funny direction. I'm going to take that off the tip. I'm wondering about this one. It's kind of crossing everything. I've already got like a trunk line coming up here, and this is a branch off of it. I think I should get rid of that upper part. I think it's going to be a problem, so off it comes. Like that. I think that looks a bit better. This branch is pretty thick here. I better not. I better leave it. I think that's it for the pruning. I'm quite happy with it. Oh, there's a branch out the back here that needs to be shortened. And this one. There. Yeah. I think that has got the pruning done. So next I'm going to clean up all my stubs from previous prunings, cleaning up the structure of the tree. So there's a stub here from a previous pruning that I can just clean up. Take that back. There's a big one here. Stump here. Stump here. One up here. Okay, I think that's got all my stumps cleaned up. My stubs and previous pruning cuts. So next I'm going to seal all these cuts with rubber cement, just to seal them up for the winter. The last time I pruned this tree, I sealed all the cuts with rubber cement, and they did really well. It stopped any dieback. I didn't get any insect attacks. Here is a look at what I took off the tree today. So all these long whippy branches came off. So the tree is much more compact now. So the last thing I want to do today, even though I'll be repotting it in spring, is I want to pick out a lot of these weeds. You can see this one patch of that Scotch moss is really getting thick, and I just want to clean that out so the tree's a little easier to water. Alright, so I'll just get my tweezers and pull out what I can. It'll be interesting to see what the root system's like in spring. Hoping there's some good roots happening. And the tree's been growing quite well. Had a good year growing this year. So I had some kind of a fungal attack that killed off the main part of the tree, and it stayed on the tree for, quite a few successive years, and each year a section of the trunk would die back, like a strip of it, and it'd turn all mushy, and then it would go away, and the tree would grow nice, and then I'd get another one. And I haven't had it in many, many years. So I'm hoping it's gone away for good. But I keep spraying the tree with soap and water, especially in spring. Keep any fungal diseases away from it. Hopefully it'll just keep growing healthy. And it was pretty sad when the tree died back. It was like it had the potential to be a really, really cool apple tree. And most of it died off, and I was very disappointed, but I thought, like in bonsai, like I always say, you just work with what you have. So the tree wasn't dead, so I just kept pruning it up, doing the best with what I had, and hoping that someday it recovers and all that dead wood someday becomes a cool feature. And that's all you can do, other than throw the tree away. But I didn't want to do that. I think it had enough good stuff going on with the tree that even if I just start over from the stump here, I can still turn it into something interesting for the future. So I kept just working away at it, and it's been very healthy since, and I hope it stays that way. But you never know. Fruit trees, they can be fussy at times. So I'll work away at the tree, picking out all this Scotch moss, and we'll come back for a final look at the tree. I've been picking away moss at the back of the tree here, and you can see there's some new roots in there growing down through that rotted section and into the soil. So that's good. That's what I wanted. And it looks like it's happening a bit. I have a lot of weeding to go. Here's what I've taken off so far. This back section was just full of weeds. That was a lot of work weeding. I think I've got most of them out of the planting now. So let's fly in now and have a look at the tree. It's nice to see the apple tree all pruned up once again. So I'll be repotting this in spring, pulling it out, and I'll be putting it in the same pot. This is a nice tokonami pot. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.